Hey there, nation. Welcome to the show. We help you to play miniatures wargaming on a budget. It is I, Commander CheapSkate, and now it's time for another edition of our hobby side series, Brush with Death. This series is dedicated to the creation as well as painting of our Vampire Counts army that we're creating for our Warhammer Fantasy Battle, also using this for Undead as well for other gaming systems. And as you can see, we are just now looking at our latest endeavor that we've added to this army, which is a unit of 61 zombies that we painted up in order to add it to the army as well. So up to this point, we've covered over our 6 monstrous infantry figures, so these guys can be used as any combination of monstrous infantry for our games. We've also talked about this huge unit of 50 crypt ghouls, humanoid cannibal monsters, and as well as the character that's involved there, which is our Strigoi Ghoul King, also known as our general for our vampire army. And now we're going to talk about this unit right here, our very latest and greatest of our undead adding. That is our huge unit of zombies. So, just to get you guys off the bat, this unit is numbering as 61 zombies. And ideally, the idea is supposed to be that we use this. The idea is that this unit is large enough to be actually split into two units of 20 zombies, and that gives us 20 zombies that we can use later on to, excuse me, I have a little bit of a cold, use some leftovers in order to increase our army in size with spells and things of that nature. So you can see it's really, really cool. Really like the way it came out. The problem with most undead armies is that when you look at an undead army, usually they're very, very like drabby and kind of faded looking because they're trying to make it look like it's a, like it's a dead army. And you know what? Those are cool looking and all. I do like the idea of a, dusty kind of decayed kind of faded color scheme for an army. I'm more of a brightly colored person. I like bright colors. So because I decided to make this unit just look a little bit more crisp, a little bit more, colorful looking is what I went for. Now this unit is actually made up of several different types of miniatures from different companies to make this miniatures. Let's go and start talking about that real quick. So this guy, for example, right here in the lower upper right hand corner, this is kind of like a unit champion or a command model. What this guy is from Reaper Miniatures. Oops, sorry about that, dropped in there. And this is actually a pewter model. This is supposed to be of a zombie wolf or a werewolf type creature. I like the way it came out and just the way it looked. It's got all this muscly sinew kind of located out and whack on it, so I decided to include my army because I thought it looked really, really cool. And then of course you have your GW, Games Workshop Citadel miniatures. So that's what these guys are made of, like this guy here in the center. Same thing with this little zombie coming out of the ground. That guy's from Kings of War, Mantic Games. That's where that miniature comes from. And then this guy here, the guy with the pitchfork, he's from a board game from a long time ago from Milton Valley called Richard the Lionheart, I believe it was called. And he's the peasant model that came with that set. So he's armed with a pitchfork, and I just made it look like he's all chewed up and stuff and made him look undead. Right here, this guy right here, his name is Gompfield, I believe his name. Yeah, that's the line of his miniature. He's a miniature from Reaper Mini as well. This is from the Bone line of miniatures that they have. As you can see, he's made out of printer resin, so he's very, very flexible, very, really cool looking model. Looks like a skeleton, a skeletal scarecrow from hell, which I thought was really cool. Same thing with this guy here, this little Grim Reaper looking character carrying a shovel. That's from the Reaper Mini's Bone line series of miniatures. And as you can see, we just kind of intermix them a lot from all these different types, painting them all looking different. And then of course, if you look up here from the sky view, we have different bases types. As you can see, I got like gravestones there and right there behind them. I got three 40 by 40 millimeter squares. And the reason why I did that is because, zombies are supposed to like be walking around in a shambling horde. This would look like they're just kind of stumbling about. So I added those squares just to break up that lockstep to make it look more like a horde that's coming at you instead of an organized unit. And plus the way that their limbs are kind of positioned and the way they're angled about kind of gives you the impression this is like a stumbling horde of undead things are just kind of coming at you. So yeah. And of course we used blood from the blood of the blood god, right, as you can see right here. We used blood from the blood god from Citadel paints because it was a really neat looking technical paint. And you're playing undead, so you gotta use a lot of that stuff to make it look all nice and gory and undead. These miniatures back here on the squares, you look really close. These are actually from the Citadel main range of zombies, and what they originally supposed to be, they're supposed to be like these torsos that the zombies are dragging around with them. So from one box set, you got 4 of those. And so I just took some extra zombie arms, just glued them to their sides there. So they look like, you know, zombies coming out of the ground. That's where those guys came from. To paint these up, what I really did is I just used primarily for their flesh. I mainly just washed that with different colored washes, like yellow and green, stuff like that, for a lot of them to give them more bright colors. This guy back here, for example, is made with that crimson color. And then the rest of the miniatures I paint up using like khaki colored paints. Same thing with like what you call it, like an off-white kind of color to make them look more pallid looking. And then of course I just used a wide range of colors to make them look interesting, to make them look all different and make them look really cool. So yeah, you see a very, very bright colored army there. Just like my unit of monsters infantry, they're very, very bright colored as well. As well as my ghouls. So that would look really, really cool. And of course, the bases, I just put sand on them, paint them a dark gray, dry brush them a lighter gray, threw on some flocking on them to make it look cool. And yeah, very, very pleased with the way that this army came out so far. So we have accomplished painting 3 units in our army so far. We have 3 other ones we got to paint up to finally complete our 2,000 points worth of miniatures. And that's what these guys are over here. So over here we have our corpse cart, where we got that finally primed up. We're gonna paint that bad boy up. We also have my converted undead zombie dragon backslash terrorgeist backslash screaming horror backslash just monster that we're gonna paint up here pretty soon here as well. And the third piece we gotta take care of is not on the table right now because it's in a box still. That is our huge centerpiece model, and that centerpiece model, of course, is a mortis engine. And then once we get that painted up, our 2,000 points will be done. So those guys are on the painting block next. Alright, you guys, that's going to do it for this one. As always, please feel free to like, comment, and or subscribe. Your guys' input is always appreciated. Check us out on Facebook and Google+, Instagram, and now Blogger.com to all the latest and greatest about our hobby. We will see you guys on the next one. You guys stay classy. Peace out.